Conference final, Tyrese Halliburton with the game winner, a crazy bounce, and it's good. It's good. He has the choke sign, but wait. After review, Halliburton's foot on the line. It's a game of inches. Knicks with a chance to tie this one up. Brunson 3, no good. Cats 3, no good. Ball out of bounds on New York. Pacers ball with 0.2 of a second left. The Knicks had a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter, midway through the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, the Pacers rallied back in this one. They were down by 9 points in the final 60 seconds, marking their largest comeback in the final minute of a fourth quarter in a playoff game. They go on to win, take it to overtime, and go on to win 138-135 in comeback fashion. And we are now joined by CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Ryder and former NBA player and coach Avery Johnson. And fellas, I have one big question for you. Are you not entertained? I think game one lived up to the expectation. I think it succeeded the expectations of what we wanted to see out of these two teams. But I got to start with what we saw out of the Indiana Pacers, because at one point there late in the fourth quarter, they started to look a little dead in the water. Meanwhile, went on a run, had trailed by 16 points, come back, and then Tyrese Halliburton with this wild circus bounce that we saw. Coach, let's start with you. What impressed you most with the Pacers' comeback in this overtime victory?
Well, I think Nesmith's his three-point shooting in the fourth quarter, 19 points in the fourth quarter, made a big three when they're down by 5 to cut the lead to 2. This guy was incredible. And I just think overall the ball security by the Indiana Pacers. In an overtime game in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe he only had 7 turnovers. That was unbelievable. But Aaron Nesmith, I coached against this kid when he was at Vanderbilt, of all places, when I was coaching in college. And he was a sharp shooter then. He's continued to build on that momentum of how he developed his shot in college. He was unstoppable. I don't know what the Knicks were doing in terms of some of their switches. They were a little bit discombobulated there late in the game. But ball security by the Indiana Pacers, knocking down the three-point shot. They made a higher percentage of their free throws. The Knicks missed 12 free throws, especially the one that OG Anunoby missed there at the end of the game, which would have given them a three-point lead. So all hats off to the Indiana Pacers. They stole game one in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I'm with Coach. I mean, all hail Aaron Nesmith. What a performance. He was the catalyst for a push by the Pacers to score 20 points in 2.5 minutes in that fourth quarter. And here's the thing. Praise him. Praise Halliburton for what looked like the game winner in the early Reggie choke sign that turned out to be true. Sorry, Knicks fans. But the heroics mean with every hero you have to have a villain. You have to have a bad guy. And on this night, it's that Knicks team. You're in the conference finals. You haven't been in the NBA Finals in a generation. Coach is right. Focus, play defense. You cannot squander a 16-point lead at home in the Garden in game one. And look, it's not a secret that the Pacers are a team that make comebacks. It's not a secret they can rain threes if you're not locked in. So amazing performance by the Pacers. Avery is 100% right. Like Aaron Nesmith, that is one of the, he went full Michael Jordan. I still not get in my mind around the fact that was reality, but it's also just such a brutal way to begin this very long series. But for the Knicks, talk about an opportunity given away. And it felt like Halliburton beat you in fourth quarter, but then his toe was on the line. So you had a second chance not to screw this thing up. And they obviously did in overtime as well. Second chance not to screw it up. But also, if you recall going back to game 2 of the last series, you had Halliburton who ran around and hit the top of the key, hit another game winner against Cleveland. So seeing some remnants of that, or some familiarity, but not quite enough with his toe on the line. But guys, you talk a little bit about the Pacers stealing game 1. You said that, Coach, but Knicks came in favored in this one. You mentioned it, Bill. They were up by 16 in the fourth quarter. Now, currently, the Pacers minus 168 to win the series. Coach, swinging this back your way,
what does this win mean for the Pacers, who looks like things are stacked up against them coming into this one? They're on the road playing at a tough MSG, because let's be honest, these Knicks fans are excited for what they're seeing out of this team. But what does this win mean for Indiana?
Indiana's playing with house money right now. I've been in this situation before. Whenever you don't have home court advantage, you can go and steal game one, which is the easiest game to steal in any NBA playoff series. So the Knicks, they're feeling really good about themselves. They have nothing to lose in game two. I think for the Knicks, seven turnovers by Jalen Brunson. That's an extraordinarily high number. So he's going to have to improve there. So defensively, Indiana really feels good about not his 43 points, but how they forced him into those turnovers, which led to points off turnovers. So if I'm Indiana, I'll go back. If I'm Rick Carlisle, try to tweak a couple of things. Miles Turner, they did much better when he wasn't in the game. The Knicks actually played better. They were on a 14-0 run there late in the game without Jalen Brunson in the game when he was in foul trouble. So if I'm Indiana, I'm feeling really good right now.
You're absolutely feeling good, but I feel like what we saw, not necessarily with the circus 3 or 2 that happened, but when we see the Pacers this postseason, we've seen them come back in several instances in some of these games. I like to call them, maybe they're looking like the comeback kids. But Bill, what have you made of the Pacers having so many comebacks this postseason?
Yeah, and by the way, the Knicks too, and I think the lesson applies here to both teams. You can't take for granted how well you're playing, how well things are going, because look, it was early in the game. Pacers got off to a nice start in this game, and they kind of let their defensive energy lag a little bit. The game was close, and all of a sudden, the Knicks took the lead, and they took, and Coach is right, OG Anunoby really was the guy that pushed a pretty nice run in the fourth quarter when Brunson was out with that foul trouble, and it felt like the game was over. And you're right, Kiana. This is a Pacers team that's been there, that's done that, like the Knicks, to get here, have mounted these remarkable comebacks. And so for me, I know that there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of pressure on both these teams, especially the Knicks. But these are both teams that are capable of being outstanding defensively, but have not been consistent in that respect. For the Pacers, they were just bad defensively and just bad in general the first 25 games of the regular season. But after that 25-game mark, they're top 7 defense going all the way back to mid-December. And we know the Knicks and the guy that coaches them are usually going to focus on defense. They've got great perimeter defenders, but they were inconsistent at times over the regular season. They were not a top 5 or top 10 defense in the regular season, although they've played at that level in this postseason. So for me, the big takeaway is, yes, both these teams are capable of comebacks, and certainly the Pacers did a miracle, magical. They earned it one again. But it's also just a reminder that both these teams have to be focused on defense for 48 minutes. That's something they didn't do over the course of the entirety of the season. And I think whoever advances is largely going to be the team that summons the best version of themselves defensively because both these teams against an opponent who's capable of making comebacks, even if it feels like the game's out of hand.
Hey, I want to stick with that word capable, Bill, because you used that and we saw that the Knicks were capable to extend